I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has value.
Good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Global Watchman News, exposing satanic world government. I hope you guys are all doing well. Myself and my co-host Ernie would like to welcome you to the live chat. If you are in the live chat, we do ask that you keep it family friendly. There will be moderators in there to make sure that we stay within the terms of service put forth to us by the platforms we're utilizing tonight. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Take a minute to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so we go live. Hey, Ernie.
Hello, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Doing quite well. Hello, Saints. How are y'all? See y'all in chat.
So for those of that you do not know, I would like to introduce you to my new co-host, permanent co-host, Ernest Nicholson. Not to be confused with Nicholson 1968, though we would love to have him on. He is way too busy to come over here and co-host, but maybe in the future we will get him on as a guest. I am talking with him, but this is Ernie. He's been a part of our Global Watchman News research team for a long time now, and we are grateful that he has agreed to come on as part of the Global Watchman News broadcast team. Thank you, Ernie, and welcome.
It's been a blessing, and all I'm here is to help contribute to the ministry and to the cause.
Exactly. So we got a hot topic tonight.
We definitely do, and as people would say, ish is about to hit the fan.
Yeah, it is. It is. So we are going to talk to you guys tonight about Cern. A lot of you guys know what Cern is, but I was surprised because I've been posting on my Facebook wall for a few days now with information, and I was surprised that a lot of people didn't know what Cern was or is. So we have decided that we are going to take a step back and give you a little bit of history about what Cern is. So this is a little short history. This talks about, so the name CERN is often associated with advanced technology and state-of-the-art science, but the history of this lab is quite long, and CERN is one of the first inter-European organizations created after the Second World War. That sentence right there, Ernie, throws up red flags. What about you?
It definitely did. You know, government technology is always decades ahead of what we see. And I believe it was completed before then.
Yeah, when I saw Second World War, I immediately thought paperclip. I immediately thought Nazi technology, fallen angel technology. And we know CERN is not from this world. There's a movie that you guys have probably seen. It's called Contact, where Jodie Foster plays a scientist or a researcher, and she pulls a message out of through SETI, and it is the blueprints to a machine that takes them through wormholes to another galaxy. To me, that's what CERN is. Probably the closest thing to that movie. Just a thought.
Well, you know, they expose a lot of truth in movies and TV shows and other forms of media, so you can guess that what you see in that is already either been established or in the works.
Exactly. I do know that the SETI program is kind of outdated, but when you think about, the Vatican has one of the most powerful telescopes in the sky right now, so it's hard telling what they have intercepted, that has come through.
Absolutely. We gotta open our minds and realize that the nonfiction that we have read in most cases is actually fiction. It's true.
Right. So yeah, the fiction that we've read is nonfiction. It's true.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Sorry, brain fart.
Yep. No, you're right. But yeah, opposite. Yeah, exactly. Because they have to telegraph us. They have to tell us in advance what they plan on doing, or what they're doing for us. It's in the Kabbalah. It's kind of a karma thing. It's called telegraphing, and it's something they do because of their magical, I'm going to say the ritualistic. Yeah. So let's get back to those times. Europe was rebuilding itself from the debris of this terrible war, where neighboring countries had been invading and bombarding each other for years. Resources for fundamental science was scarce in Europe, especially the countries where dictatorships had power before the war, were plagued by a strong brain drain. Many scientists, some very famous ones, but also many others, were constitute the fundamental scientific humus for the advancement of research, and left the continent because of political or racial persecutions. That's not why they left the continent. They left the continent because of Project Paperclip. But unfortunately, a few enlightened scientists had remained, once among them Bohr, Amaldi, and Algar, and they understood something very important. If the various European countries wanted to avoid becoming irrelevant in the new post-war world, they had to forget the rivalries and start to build a common project. So something incredible happened. Countries that had been bombarding each other until a few years earlier began to collaborate in a very ambiguous, peaceful scientific endeavor. So the countries that got involved with CERN CERN convention was signed in 1953 by the 12 founding states: Belgium, Denmark, France, the Federal Republic of Germany, Greece, Italy, the Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, the United Kingdom, and Yugoslavia, and entered into a force on 29 September 1954. The organization was subsequently joined by Austria in 1959, Spain in 69, was Spain in 61, who left in 69, but then rejoined in 1983. Portugal 85, Finland 91, Poland 91, Czechoslovakia 92, Hungary 92, Bulgaria 99, Israel 2014, Romania 2016, Serbia 2019, and the Czech Republic, Slavic Republic rejoined Cern after their mutual independence in 1993. Yugoslavia originally left in 1961. Member states have special duties and privileges. They make a contribution to the capital and operation cost of Cern programs and are represented in the council, responsible for all important decisions about the organization and its activities. I just told you what the member states are. And again, all these links that we show you tonight will be in the description area below for you guys to take a look at this yourselves. Now, we don't know if we're going to be able to get through all the information. This might be part 1. So we may have to come back and do part 2, but understand something. We will be doing part 2 before July 5th, because on July 5th, Ernie and I are going to be broadcasting live Cern going back online. So we're going to get to that in a little bit as well. Okay. I'm going to play a video real quick. Oh, where did it go? Oh, there it is. It's going to tell you a little bit about Cern. Now, I followed this guy on TikTok. And he actually works at Cern, and he does live streams. I've watched the new, what are they called? The new magnets. I've watched the new magnets be lowered into the collider. And he has pretty much walked us through all of that. So let's take a listen. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
We're talking about the Higgs decaying, but what does that even mean? So stop for a second and ask the question, what is the decay? So at the LHC, we collide protons. Protons get close together, they interact, and then we create a Higgs boson. But this Higgs boson doesn't live for very long. So it lives for something like 10 to the minus 23 seconds or something like that. That's basically nothing. And what that means is that it immediately splits into other particles. So you ask the question, can the Higgs boson decay to dark matter? And the answer is yes. The Higgs boson can decay to dark matter. So you ask the question, can the Higgs boson decay to dark matter? And the answer is yes. The Higgs boson can decay to dark matter. Right now, 100 meters below us, superconducting magnets just like these are doing the heavy lifting required to get these proton beams to bend around the 27-kilometer tunnel and allow them to get up to almost the speed of light and to 13 TeV, which is the highest energy that humans have ever used in a collider experiment. So what are we looking for? Things like dark matter, dark energy. What are we looking for? Things like dark matter, dark energy, supersymmetry, quantum black holes, large extra dimensions. But really, we're just pushing the boundaries of human knowledge. We don't know what we're going to find at 13 TeV at the LHC.
Problems about Cern. I know everybody's waiting on this. What could potentially happen from this? Well, they had another discovery that dark matter causes other pieces of dark matter that they have contained to react. In other words, if you have a container, say you had a teaspoon of dark matter, and let's just say you had it in Pennsylvania, and somebody else had that same teaspoon of dark matter in California, then as soon as the teaspoon of dark matter is exposed to the elements in Pennsylvania, it causes the dark matter in California to begin to activate. In other words, you lose containment in one place, containment in another place is going to be lost. It's going to be lost. So they're intimately tied together. Now, we've covered the fact that people have the signatures of the energy of dark matter in them and matter. So they contain both matter and antimatter, in a sense, the signature of energy. They're not put together. It's just that signature. And we draw upon those based upon our thoughts and what's in our minds and what's in our hearts, in a sense.
I'm going to stop it right there because what he said was very important. If they lose the containment of dark matter in one spot, then they lose the containment of dark matter every spot, everywhere that they have it. He just said that the human body contains these elements of dark matter. So what do you think would happen if this dark matter containment was lost?
Well, if it's not contained, from our research, it can lead to a lot of chaos, a lot of cognitive abilities being in decline. I mean, when you see the influx of movies that have occurred recently, you see a lot of zombies roam the earth. So it is from my research that is one of the catalysts that will lead to something like a quote unquote zombie apocalypse.
Absolutely. And when you look at the possibility, I can't really talk about it right now on YouTube, but if you have been following the JAB and the things that they are taking out of the corpses of people who have that, you will see that it is almost like a well, if you've watched Stranger Things, I believe it was in season 2 when the entity took over Will, and it made him forget himself. That is where I think the possibility of where it can go. Have you had a chance to watch Stranger Things?
I have not. I've been contemplating whether or not I want to watch it.
You should.
But I do have discernment when of what I see, hear, or experience. So kind of leaning towards watching it, but got to keep guard on stuff like that because you don't want to invite demonic beings inside of your home or in your soul.
Right. Exactly.
So I do recommend.
I always pray. I always make sure that I'm not feeling ill, or I'm not tired, or I'm not, because all of those things play into it, and watching it. But I'm glad I did. And I just recently watched it. This has been out for a number of years. I just recently watched it. I believe that, and this is all I can say is from a personal standpoint. I believe that God moves me to do things at the proper time. So even though I started watching it back when it first came out, I didn't keep with it because it just didn't interest me at all. But in the last, I would say 3 weeks, something has moved me to start watching it. And now that I have watched it, and now I'm seeing this research coming about, it brought me back to that season 2. One of the main characters, Will, who was taken over in the season 1, Will was abducted, or he was lost, went into the upside down world. And they got him back out, but this thing, which looks like the things that they're taking out of the corpses, it looks just like it. And it kind of has a hive mind. So when I'm seeing these things, and when I'm listening to them talking about dark matter, almost talking about like it being a hive mind kind of thing, it kind of reminds me of the possibility of where this could go.
Absolutely. And when somebody researched about the thing we're not supposed to talk about and the effects they're in, as far as like in blood vessels and whatnot, these structures appear to be alive.
Yes.
And that doesn't come from any natural source. This has to come from something otherworldly, if you will.
Right. And when and I'm going to go back to this real quick, and I'm going to rewind it real quick, and I'm going to play it again. Now, keeping that in mind, let's take a listen to what was said, because I think.
And somebody else had that same teaspoon of dark matter in California. Then, as soon as the teaspoon of dark matter is exposed to the elements in Pennsylvania, it causes the dark matter in California to begin to activate. In other words, you lose containment in one place, containment in another place is going to be lost. It's going to be lost. So they're intimately tied together. Now, we've covered the fact that people have the signatures of the energy of dark matter in them and matter. So they contain both matter and antimatter, in a sense, the signature of energy. They're not put together. It's just that signature. And we draw upon those based upon our thoughts and what's in our minds and what's in our hearts, in a sense. With Cern, as they begin to collide these protons, dark matter is going to be produced in great numbers. I mean, in greater and greater numbers. Not only the matter, but the energy signature is going to also be released into this realm. You know what that's going to cause? It's going to cause the dark energy signature within people to begin to activate more and more.
It says it all right there, doesn't it?
Definitely does.
Yeah.
We're looking at CERN, we're looking at 5G, we're looking at antimatter, and we're looking at the thing we're not supposed to talk about. Everything is going hand in hand.
Absolutely, it's going hand in hand. Absolutely. I'm going to give you guys a little rundown of CERN right now. This is a video I did in 2014. Now, I apologize. This was one of the first videos I ever did. That is how long I've been studying. How long I've been studying CERN, since 2013, 14, somewhere in there. But I did this video in 14. There's no sound to it, so I'm going to play it, and that's why I'm not going to mute, so we can watch this. Now, this picture right here shows the Hoover Dam. Yes, the CERN logo was put on the Hoover Dam for a period of time. I'm not sure when it was. I think it was either 13 or 14. Why they did that, I don't know. Kind of freaked me out at the time because I was doing the whole video was talking about the correlation between the Hoover Dam. Give me 2 seconds. Oops, give me 2 seconds here. I'm going to pause this for a second. I'm going to invite somebody else onto the show for us, if that's okay with you.
More to Mary, welcome to the party. And I just wanted to add something too. You did mention something about the Hoover Dam. Mm-hmm. That was a focal point in the very first Transformers movie, in which the cube was the source of life.
Yes. It is my theory that the Hoover Dam is going to play a significant part, possibly, and we probably won't get in that today, but this whole video has to do with the Hoover Dam, but it also has to do with CERN. The messenger I just sent you over on Facebook, the link, go ahead and put the link up. Make sure that you okay your camera and your microphone, and I will bring you in. And I know that you have a lot to talk about with this. So this is his name's Joe, and I'll introduce you when he gets here. All right, let's go back to this. So the facility is home of the Large Hadron Collider, the HLC. It's the largest one in the world. There are similar facilities located throughout the world that are conducting the same experience, but on a smaller scale. Now, these are just a few of them. We have them in Brookhaven, New York. And we have them here in, there's one in Germany. There are a total of 300 Hadron Colliders in the world, not just the one in Geneva. That is the main one. That's the biggest one so far. But there are 300. This is the one that is 30 miles from me. I've actually been to Fermi National Lab. The main facility in Switzerland is 19 miles in diameter. The particles injected to the HCl travel at speeds that take those particles 11,000 laps per second. Now, I want to remind people that was back in 2014. That was back before they upgraded to not. This is the second time they've upgraded the magnets. So this laps per second is obsolete at this point. The name Cern comes from Cernunnos, the horned god of the underworld. And you know, they do everything for a reason. Nope, your devices are not connected. There we go. Okay. Now, this was something that I found very interesting, and this is going to play along with the bottomless pit. Something worth noting here is there's an incantation to this Cernunnos that makes mention of opening doors of the stars that have no keys. The great god Cernunnos opened the door which has no key, the door of the stars where men can come to thee. Which is interesting because in the book of Revelation, we're told that the angel comes down holding the keys to the bottomless pit. So the bottomless pit cannot be opened up until these keys are brought to earth. But if they don't need a key and they have this ability, they don't even have to wait for the angel to bring it down. They can open up the doors to the bottomless pit right away.
Another thing you can look at too is, suppose CERN is the key,
right?
And if if the Watchers actually gave them that knowledge to develop some type of apparatus to be able to open up the bottomless pit,
right?
There we go. Exactly.
And this has always been a concern of mine, because I do believe that they have the ability. The fallen angels have given them the ability. Now you notice that the 666. Okay. Now we have Shiva. We just saw on the last video that I showed you guys, Obama in the position of Shiva on the Newsweek. Was it Newsweek magazine? Okay, Shiva is the most powerful god in the Hindu pantheon, one of the godheads in the Hindu Trinity. She's said to dance between dimensions. Now, that is something that we need to whoops, let me go back real quick. Give me a second. Right here. She dances between dimensions. So when they talk about CERN, and I'm going to show you here in just a moment, one of the heads of CERN was talking about how they actually are opening up dimensions. And that is exactly what Shiva does. She dances between the dimensions, and she's responsible for death and destruction, but she's also responsible for creation. Now, when CERN first started up, their main goal was to find the God particle, or the Higgs boson. Now, the Higgs boson, or the God particle, was what they believed sparked creation, sparked the creation of the universe, the Big Bang. They'd succeeded. They found it. They found it very quickly. But that wasn't good enough for them. They should have, by all rights, shut down the experiments and they were done, correct?
Absolutely.
Now, back in 2009, I can remember when they started it up. People were like, oh, it's going to have a black hole and we're going to destroy everything. And that did not happen. But other things began to happen. Numerous people from around the world began reporting that they're seeing portals opening up. Many of these reports included seeing giants or demons coming through, and some people even got pictures. Now, when you look at this, you're going to say, oh, no, those are just rockets. No, those are not rockets. These are actual pictures. Those were not rockets at the time. It was researched, had nothing to do with rockets. We are told through the Sumerian text that there are portals across the earth, and we're uncovering them. Now, you may think this looks familiar. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. The movie Stargate is not a movie. Back in the 1950s, an actual Stargate type device was found in the Iraqi desert, the site of the early Babylon civilization. Tower of Babel was a Stargate. And over the past few years, there's been several man-made Stargates that have appeared throughout the world. These are just some of them. There are dozens across the world. These are just some that I pulled up that I knew about. We got one in Detroit. The one in Arizona that's going to come up, it's right downtown Phoenix, Arizona. This one right here. It's actually at a train station. And one of the biggest ones is in China. Is it just art? Do you think it's just art, Ernie?
Nothing is art without meaning.
But people don't understand the Hoover Dam is considered also a Stargate. And in the beginning of this video, I go into how the Hoover Dam is actually, it looks like the human or the female reproduction organs. So when it was discovered that Cern was opening up these portals and these stargates, attention turned away from the Higgs and bose, and it went to these stargates, these portals. One of the top physicists at Cern admitted, quote, something may come through the portals at the LHC, and that was from Sergio Bertolucci. He was the director for research and scientific computing at Cern. He actually said this because when they were amping it up, the power, they were opening up these portals. The problem with it is that they did not have enough energy. They could not produce enough energy to stabilize the opening of these portals. And that is why they shut the Hadron Collider down and they replaced the magnets. Now, when they started back up in 2015, they thought that they had enough power, but they still didn't, which is why they shut it down again and why it's still being shut down, and it starts up next week. When they started up next week, this is something I want to show you guys right here. When they started up next week, it'll be starting at 13 teravolts. The largest, this has never been done before. This much energy has never been used in the history of the world that we know of. The magnets that are used in the portal experiments are called Satan. Go figure. Solar axion telescope antenna. And that is the main, this is where the beam comes out of and into the tubes. What do you think about that?
Think about what I just said earlier. I mean, these are nothing but keys to open up the bottomless pit. And
absolutely,
once they reach peak capacity, we're going to see a lot of changes happening in this world, a lot of biblical changes, if you will.
Mm-hmm. The Hoover Dam logo, the Cern magnet, and the Mayan calendar are all representing stargates. If you look at the center of the calendar, you'll see a face which appears to be looking out of a doorway. Now, Ernie, through our research today, what did you come? Okay, so let me back up a little bit before I go there. We know that the Mayan calendar, do you remember December 21st, 2012?
Yes, I do.
Remember what was supposed to happen? The earth, the world, the time was supposed to stand still and everything was supposed to be destroyed. And, that was the end of the world, right?
Absolutely. But of course, we're still here, so it didn't come to fruition.
Right. Okay. My opinion is that the Mandela effect started on that day. We just didn't know about it for a few years later. That is just my theory. But the date of December 21st, 1221. I want you guys to envision those numbers 1221. It is a mirror image of each other, correct?
That is correct.
What did you find out about December 21st, 2021?
Well, there was the beginning of what scientists call the Great Conjunction, in which all 5 of the planets, including the moon, are starting to align themselves together. Now, 40 years before the birth of Christ, the Roman poet Virgil explained that when there's a planetary alignment such as that, it symbolizes the transfer of control of the heavens from Jupiter to Saturn. And by that, Saturn will gain power, and the return of the golden age with a new breed of men will be brought down from heaven. Now, what's interesting is that same year that the Great Conjunction began to form, earlier that year in January of 2020, Mr. Klaus himself launched what we call now the Great Reset.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes to show you that nothing that happens in this world is by coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences, neither does Lori. They knew this was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore they're acting accordingly in order to their plan.
Absolutely. And we're gonna talk about that alignment in just a couple of minutes, because I do believe that plays an important part in what is happening on July 5th as well. So let's go through here. Here's another look at the Mayan calendar. Can you see in the middle? You see this little guy looking through this hole, this window?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. This was the size of one magnet back in 2014. This was before they. Now remember, they've changed them out twice. They've changed it out and restarted in 2015. Then they shut it down again, and now we have the new magnets. The new magnets are reportedly 3 times the size of this. And if you put a person, you see the outer ring. You see there's like an outer ring, and then there's another ring that goes in the middle. If you were to stand a person up there, their head would come to that middle ring right here. I don't know if you can see my cursor. That would be where the head of this person standing on this platform right here. The head of the person would be here. So now they're putting in rings that are magnets that are 3 times this size. And that is
one interesting. I'm sorry. One interesting thing about those magnets, those large magnets, if you look at the architecture of that magnet, it symbolizes an eye.
Oh yeah.
And what does the eye symbolizes in the occult? It symbolizes the eye of providence, the eye of Lucifer.
Eye of Lucifer, exactly. Eye of Ra. Absolutely. All right, let me go to. Okay, we're done with that one. Okay. So I'm going to play another video. Come on. There we go. I'm going to play another video, and then we're going to talk about what's going on right now. 2 seconds.
You guys, Cern isn't messing around.
The planets will align. This is so nice. The time to act will be at hand. Unleash the Titans, you monstrous band.
Holy shit, they're turning on Cern?
Proud Zeus will finally
fall. Wait, you guys, hold on. They're literally turning on the Hadron Particle Collider and doing one of the highest energy things they've ever done. I can't do the words right now. But every 18 years, like Hercules just said, the planets align. And if you look it up right now, there's supposed to be a planetary viewing because the planets are aligned. All of them are aligned. It's no coincidence. Oh, shit. I am on to something right now, and I need to get my words better about me. Oh, my mind is so fucked.
Right now, there is a planetary alignment. Now, I want to make perfectly clear of something. One of the planets that is in alignment, and it's funny because God definitely gives us validation. And as we were getting ready to go live, probably about 20 after 7, I think it was, Arnie, I logged into Global Watchman News on YouTube, and this popped up. This is the alignment that is happening right now. The view of Jupiter, Venus, Mars, and Saturn. I want you guys to specifically pay attention to the planet of Saturn. Saturn back in the time of the Sumerians is not in the place that it was now. It was actually one of our moons, and it was closer to the planet Earth than it is now. And the inhabitants of the Earth, this was the Sumerians and even the holders of the keys, or what we would know today as the Freemasons or the Illuminati, all represented and all paid attention to the planet Saturn. We have Saturn worship, black cube worship, and it has all back to do with Saturn. And Saturn was said to be the place of the bottomless pit. What do you think about that, Ernie?
Well, I believe that is definitely the truth. And we were looking back in ancient times, even up until now, Saturn's been worshipped all throughout the years, from the Egyptians to one of the most prolific religions here on the planet today. Saturn has been a symbol of their movement, their worship, their god, if you will. And we all know that the term Saturn is one of the many names of the fallen angel himself. So we have to keep a close watch on this. As I mentioned to you earlier today, anytime the planets align, something significant occurs. Every single time.
Yes.
And when all planets are in alignment as of the Great Conjunction,
yes,
which is also known as the Christ star, something even bigger occurs. So we have to keep a close watch as far as all of this, because we know the occult, they like to use certain times and dates to release a different part of their plan. And alignment of the planets is one of the biggest opportunities for them to do so.
Exactly. And it's funny you should mention that. I was telling you a little bit about what happened. So I have a personal story from back in 2015. And I'm glad that Hurricane Ann is in the chat room, because we have a mutual friend, Cindy. And she can tell you that Cindy is very reliable when it comes to the things that, she's not a liar. Okay. Let's just put it that way. She has very highly regarded integrity with this woman. It was June 30th of 2015. It was a Friday night, and Saturn was at its closest to Earth. And the news media was making a big deal about it. And it just so happened that Cern had come back online about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks before this. Again, not a coincidence. And at this time, my bestie, he was my best friend, was a YouTuber known as Round Saturn's Eye. Him and I were talking, we would talk on the phone constantly from the time we got up in the morning to the time we went to bed at night. He would be like, I gotta go, I'll be back in an hour, I gotta pump out a video, I'll be right back. I said, okay, cool. And there was another girl with us, her name was Nikki. And it was the three of us. And we were inseparable for quite a long time. So it was Friday night. Dave and I went to bed. It was about 8 o'clock on Friday night. Yes, we're old. Don't mock us. We don't party anymore, and we're too old for that. So we were in bed at 8 o'clock, and I remember the time because we watched TV, and I fell asleep. We watched a TV show from 8 to 9. 9 o'clock, I shut the TV off. We both went to sleep. A little while later, we woke up, and he said to me, now we woke up at the exact same time, okay? And he says to me, well, you might as well just go make coffee. And I was like, all right. And I went to get up, and I'm like, why is it still dark out? I'm like, what the hell time is it? And I looked at my clock, my phone, and it was 11 o'clock, exactly on the nose, 11 o'clock. I was like, Dave, we've only been asleep for 2 hours. He's like, there's no way in hell we've been asleep for 2 hours. I feel like I've been asleep all night. I said, me too. So needless to say, I did not get up and make coffee. Didn't really think too much about it. So the next morning, I get up the next morning and take my phone off of Do Not Disturb, and my phone starts blowing up. And it's David and Nikki. David said, something happened last night. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, something happened. I woke up this morning, which would have been Saturday. He said, and I came out and I said to my parents, where are we going for brunch after church? My parents looked at me like I was crazy. They said, David, it's only Saturday. It's only Saturday. I was like, what? He goes, Lori, I lost a day. All right. Yeah, I lost a day. Nikki called. She had almost the exact same experience. She said, I don't know why, but I got this morning. It was Sunday. So we were just like, wow, that's crazy. So about 3 weeks later, my friend Cindy, who Wolfpack, Hurricane Ann can vouch for our friend Cindy, very honest. She messaged me and she said, I've been debating on whether to tell you something that has happened. She said, but 2 weeks ago, on a Friday night, something weird happened. She said, I went to sleep and I woke up and I had lost time. I don't believe, again, in coincidences. Something happened that night. And I'm sure if I were to have put something up on social media and started asking people, I'm sure we were not the only ones that would have said something happened that night. And here we are again with, hold on a second. Here we are again with the planets lined up. And it just so happens that on July 5th, which is next Tuesday, what was the date of that? That was June 30th, 2015. It just so happens that on July 5th, which is next Tuesday, Cern is going to repower up at a power level never before seen ever in the history of humanity at 13 teravolts. What could possibly happen, Ernie?
Well, I believe me, you, and Jack can only imagine what's going to happen. Put your armor on, people.
Yeah. Put your armor on, people.
There is, I mentioned to you many times before that the second half of this year is going to be very interesting. We're going to be in for a ride. And this ride is starting with this.
Mm-hmm. Can you see the date on this article I'm pulling up?
I do.
What does it say?
December 21st, 2019.
There's that date again, December 21st. Cern, portals in the sky and other high strangeness. Is Cern opening portals? Here is a radar. Look at this. This is over Geneva, Switzerland. What do you think of that?
Look closely. It looks like a snake eating its tail, the Ouroboros.
Mm-hmm. And this was in 2016. This was July. Now check the date out. This was July 5th, 2016. July 5th, 2016. They do things by the numbers, guys. It's no coincidences that we're seeing December 21st keep popping up. July 5th keep popping up. No coincidence. 13 teravolts. Look at the size of that portal, guys. If they can stabilize this portal, can you imagine? And we're not even going to get into the whole quantum computer D-wave aspect of it. Because the D-wave computer that is running these experiments has already hooked up to this other dimension. Quantum physics, if you don't know it, look it up and research it. Understand what a quantum computer is doing. It's not pulling, this D-wave computer of theirs is not pulling information out of this dimension. It is pulling information from somewhere else that they don't know. Well, they say they don't know where it's coming from. I believe whatever is on the other side of this portal right there is where this information is coming from. And this is what they want to do come next Tuesday. They want to open this portal. They want to stabilize it. Think of the movie again, Stargate, a stable portal between 2 points. If they can send things through, then things can come through.
Absolutely. And I just highlighted Sally's comment saying 12/21 is the winter equinox, which is the solstice.
Yeah.
I mean, that just proves our point. They do everything
happens ritualistic with them.
Absolutely. Everything is accurate with them. And they go by numbers, they go by constellations, they go by everything fallen angel technology wise that they can grasp.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, looking at that radar, all the weather patterns are going in a circle. And there is no weather occurrence in Geneva, Switzerland, once that thing is launched. Now, coupled with a very rare occurrence of all the planets being in alignment, this is the perfect opportunity to release hell on earth. I mean, the Bible talks about how Saturn is going to be reestablished for 5 months on earth and will attack those who doesn't have the seal of God on their foreheads. Most people don't realize there is 2 marks, one of the Most High and one of Lucifer. And you have to keep a close watch on what's going on, because you're going to end up getting caught up if not.
Exactly. Let's take a listen to what this guy has got to say.
Funding for first responder personnel and vehicles would be doubled if said attack leads to more than 80% of national population being affected by classified. This funding shall commence in conjunction with the first attack on classified, or the first large-scale outbreak of classified, dependent upon which comes first. Civilian and military units shall be trained in containment and combat of classified, including irradiated classified, with possibility of classified airborne, classified flesh-eating, classified, and or all of the above in such event as classified spewing, classified escape, are released or otherwise become uncontrollable. Air Force units may also be directed to combat said classified due to their enormous size and otherworldly strengths. Should event occur in urban areas, Jesus.
Even the guy reading the classified document stopped and said, Jesus.
Guys, this is real.
They know something is coming. They know something is happening. They know they're preparing. Wow. Somebody had said something about breaking through the firmament. We're talking about other dimensions here. We're not talking about anything outside of the firmament. So I'm at a loss for words, and that that doesn't happen much.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like what he's describing is of the Watchers, the Nephilim or Rephaim, if you will, Titans is viewed in Greek. But the thing is that while it may appear to be something that is a fallacy to most people, like a story, if you will, they know it's real.
Oh gosh, they do. Absolutely.
And people listen to Follow the Science. That's science right there for you, in plain sight, that people just overlook. And this world needs to get their hair out behinds, because as I was talking earlier, cognitive dissonance will definitely lead to the downfall of man and keep them in bondage. These places, these beings are real, and no weapon on earth is formed that can defeat them. It's only with the power of the Most High that we are able to withstand them. We can't rely on our own beings, our own strength to withstand the wiles of the devil that comes here on this earth. And it's coming very soon. You have to rely on the Most High, because that is the only way that we can get out of this.
Can you read the date on this?
July 5th, 2019.
That is a picture right there of Will from Stranger Things, believe it or not. Who I referenced when we first started the broadcast. This is Will of Stranger Things. Oh yeah. And I'm going to pull this one up as well. Not significant with a date, but it's significant with what it says. I've noticed a lot of people posting something having to do with the Tennessee Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Eastern Tennessee. And it says the U.S. government lab scientists hope to open a portal to a parallel universe. Physicist Lee Broussard hopes to settle whether a mirror universe exists, a concept rooted in work from the 1990s. A physicist at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Eastern Tennessee is hoping to prove once and for all if a parallel universe of mirror matter exists, exploring a scientific avenue she admits is pretty wacky. Leah Broussard will send a beam of subatomic particles down a 50-foot tunnel, past a powerful magnet, and into an impenetrable wall. They're going to hook up all 300 Cern facilities to accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. There is a Hopi prophecy that talks about in the end times, the earth will be covered by now you got to remember, the Hopi Indians, they only could describe in the words that they had or the things that they had. But the Hopi prophecy says that in the end times, the earth will be covered by a spider web. If they were to hook all 300 of these facilities together, and if you were to look at it on a power grid, it would look like a spider web. Nothing to see here, people. Keep moving.
Yes, we're being distracted by Supreme Court rulings and
Right.
what's going on in Ukraine.
Yep.
So while we're sleeping, something major is occurring.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. And and it's not like they're going to give a warning out to people. A while back, somebody had said to me, and I'm not sure, it might be somebody in our chat room, and I don't remember who it was, but they gave me a warning, and they told me that there's going to come a time when you need to cover your windows and not open your door for any reason. And I don't remember what it had pertaining about, but to me, whatever's coming, they know about it. This guy right here, I mean, his name is, hold on a second. He's from Pennsylvania. Representative John Haller. You know what? Hold on a second. I had somebody message me after I posted this earlier, and she wanted me to find her the whole video, and I did. Let me see how long it is. I don't know if it's the same one that we just watched.
Congress shall now vote for approval of H.R. 8791, the Homeland Terrorism Preparedness Bill. Said bill requests emergency response funding up to and including, I'm sorry, this section is classified, dollars to prepare for a national level terrorist attack and or attack from classified. Funding for first responder personnel and vehicles would be doubled if said attack leads to more than 80% of national population being affected by classified.
Ernie, they're expecting 80% of the population to be affected by this.
Scary.
Yeah.
It's very scary.
Yeah. I mean, this is not something we're making up, guys. I mean, as always, I'm going to put all of the sources. This is something that I pride this channel on, and that is the research that all of us do. The research team and Ernie, myself, we always source our information. We always put the sources down for you guys to do your own due diligence. Don't believe a word we say. Do your own due diligence. The Bible tells us to test all things, study to show thyself approved. Do your own research. The government is preparing. I'm sorry, but the military and the CDC would not spend millions of dollars preparing a protocol for zombies if they didn't think it was a possibility or if they had it planned.
Exactly. And if you look up the AWS terms and conditions, it specifically says something about that.
Yep. Amazon definitely says that. We did a show about that, and I believe it's probably on the channel that just got terminated. You know what? I might have it. I might have it. If I can pull it. Oops. What the heck? Let's see if I can pull it up. Because Odyssey has preserved some of our videos. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if it's on this one or not. If not, I will have to pull the information again. I think I may have it over on Rumble. I'm not sure. I'm looking. No, I don't believe I have it. It might be over on Rumble. Yeah. I'll have to look over on Rumble for it. And if I can find it, I will actually come back and show you guys it. But it's in Amazon terms of service, it talks about the zombie apocalypse. What else do you got?
Well, I mean, this is a lot to behold right now.
I thought I didn't know how fast we were going to get through all this information. It doesn't look like we're going to have to go with part 2. It looks like we covered everything tonight. But I do want to put up here, and I'm going to show you guys, on the 5th of July, right here. Welcome to Meltronic CERN Large Hadron Collider live panels. HLC run 3 is about to start. Join us live on July 5th at 1600, which will be 4 o'clock in the afternoon, to celebrate this milestone with the first ever collision with stable beams at 13.6 teravolts. So we are going to be able to watch live the control panel as they throw these beams. Yeah. So I'm going to make sure that I am available at 4 o'clock, and we're going to be watching this live. What could possibly go wrong, Ernie?
Oh, you know, zombie apocalypse.
You know.
Demonic beings roaming the earth. All of us being wiped out by antimatter. You know, just the usual.
This usual. I want to urge everybody, look it. I tell you this all the time. Get your houses in order. Because we're not promised tomorrow. We're not promised next week. The powers that be do not have our best interest at heart. The Georgia Guidestones tell us that they're going to get rid of 90% of the population. And they're going to do it where it's not going to pollute the land. So it's not going to be with a nuke. It's not going to be anything like that. The Bible also warns us that once what does the Bible, Ernie, what does the Bible say about when the pit is opened up?
It will roam the earth for about 5 months.
Mm-hmm. And men's hearts will fail them. They will pray for death. They won't be able to find it. Let me see if I can. No, it's Revelation 20. Bottomless pit is a word for the Greek of the New Testament. It literally means the abyss, which means the bottomless, unbound, the pit, or the immeasurable depth. Bottomless pit may be associated with a place called Tartarus, Greek word translated as hell. You know what? I'm going to pull up something because hold on a second. Nope, I just pulled this up the other day. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, I just sent you the link to that video on Amazon in our chat.
Oh, great. No, that's not it. Here it is. Sacred Texas. Okay, I'm going to pull this up. Oh, thank you. It was on Rumble. Nice. All right, I'll pull that in just a minute. I do want to pull this up first and read this to you. This is something that is biblical, and this is what it says. The bottomless pit is not hell or Hades or a place of abode of the spirits of wicked men and women until the resurrection of the wicked dead. It's a prison house of the fallen angels in Jude 6 and 7. Where is it? It is a place of confinement of the demons who are not Satan's angels, but classified of disembodied spirits, supposed by many to be the disembodied spirits of the inhabitants of the pre-Adamic earth, who, as they have liberty and opportunity as in the days of Christ, try to re-embody themselves again into human bodies. They are wicked, unclean, vicious, and have the power to derange both mind and body. So what this means is these disembodied spirits are going to be trying to reanimate anything they can get their hands on that was alive or is alive. And we're talking about dead bodies, because the spirit is gone out of a dead body. It's no longer has a spirit. Your soul leaves your body. So they can reanimate a person's dead body. They can come into and possess animals. They can come into and possess plants. And that was something that I've been told years and years and years ago, that the plants would even be coming to life to attack us in the last days.
Yep, and it's basing that off of Revelation 9 verses 1 through 12. In verse 2, he states, and he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. In verse 4, it says, and it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass on the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of the God in their foreheads. And unto them it was given that they should not kill them, but that should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as a torment of a scorpion, which he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right there in scripture, my friends. Hold on a second. We're going to try and Joe, do we have you? Guess we don't have him yet. All right. We'll still try to get Joe in here because he has a lot to say on this. Here is the Amazon terms of service. I'm going to read these to you. These are actual terms of service. I'm going to pull us up here. You can see these are all their terms of service. Amazon, AWS, Amazon. Let's go to, this is all Amazon. Okay. 4210, go down to Amazon 4210. What does Amazon 4210 says? Acceptable use. Safety critical systems. Your use of the lumberyard materials must comply with the acceptable use policy. The lumberyard materials. Now, the lumberyard is a operating system. Let's just put that out there, because I had to do a little bit of research on this. And I'll put the link again to this video and you can watch it. All the links. I got like 50 links underneath this for you guys. The lumberyard materials are not intended for use with a life-critical or safety-critical system, such as use and operation of medical equipment, automated transportation systems, autonomous vehicles, aircraft or air traffic control, nuclear facilities, manned spacecraft, or military use in connection with live combat. So this operating system is not to be used for these specific things. However, this restriction will not apply in the event of the occurrence certified by the United States Center for Disease Control or successor body of a widespread viral infection transmitted via bites or contact with bodily fluids that causes human corpses to reanimate and seek to consume living human flesh, blood, brain, or nerve tissue, and is likely to result in the fall of organized civilizations.
Boom. Mic drop.
Mm-hmm. Why is it Amazon is saying that our operating systems cannot know. But if you have to use it to save civilizations, then by all means, use it. That's what they're saying.
Yes. We're not playing. I mean,
No,
we're telling you the truth. Everything you see here, there's evidence to back up everything we say.
Mhm.
Now, it's whether or not you want to believe is going to be the deal breaker here. All we're doing is presenting to you the facts. Nothing more.
Exactly. You know, Ernie, I've been doing this a long time, and I'm tired. I don't know if I would be going, oh shit, here we go, or going, yes, here we go, if something were to happen, because it's just to the point where this world is so wicked. I mean, look at you've got women online right now crying uncontrollably, shedding tears because they have the right to kill another human being taken away from them. I honestly don't believe that this world could get any more evil than it is. Well, okay, I take that back. It can get a lot more evil, but I don't think we've seen this level of evil in a very long time.
Well, definitely in our generation.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, Lori, it's going to get worse.
I know.
It's going to get much worse. The Bible predicts a great falling away, and the Bible predicts that men become lovers of themselves, proud, boisterous, blasphemous. And they call on us as believers to endure into the end, and for which we will be saved.
Exactly. There is no golden ticket out of here, my friends. There's no Christ coming and sweeping us up or taking us out of here. You need to. I always tell people, look at. I'm not going to make my judgment, and I'm not going to judge other people for if they believe in the rapture or not. But I would much rather be prepared for the tribulation and surprised by the rapture than prepared for the rapture and surprised by tribulation. The bottom line is, it is our responsibility to get our houses in order, to make sure that we have the ability to sustain ourselves through what is coming. It's not going to be like anything we've ever seen before in the history of man. If you don't read any other book in the Bible, read the book of Revelation, because we are living it right now.
Absolutely. In my opinion, the beginning and the end are the two most important books of the Bible.
Yeah.
One which the enemy tries to pervert and twist and cause confusion. The other in which he knows his time is up. And he only has a short time left, and he is going to do everything in his power to gather as many souls as possible. Because he hates us, because we are created in God's image.
Absolutely.
And if this doesn't show you that he hates us, then brother or sister, there's nothing we can tell you. There's nothing we can do that helps sway your mind.
Exactly.
So go live your life. Go do the things that you want to do. Go believe that there's no God. Because I tell you, the forces behind all of this, they believe.
Yeah,
They
you
just
don't have
choose
to
not
believe in the Bible at all. But the powers that be believe it so much that they use it for a playbook.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They know how this is going to end.
Oh, of course.
But they choose to put their loyalties on the enemy. Not on the one who gave them life, breathed breath in their lungs. They choose to represent something that was created by being that transcends space and time.
Exactly. Now, Ernie and I are not sitting up here and saying that we know for sure what's going to happen, but we know what they want. We know what they're trying to do. Will it happen next week or, this time around with the 13 terribles? Who knows? We don't know if it's going to stabilize the Stargates. We don't know if it's going to stabilize the portals. We don't know. They think it will. They think they got it this time. And to tell you the truth, 2022 has been a pretty crappy year. It wouldn't surprise me in the least that they accomplished it this year. 2020 was the start. 2020 vision. Perfect vision. Perfect to see what's coming. That's when it started, 2020. And if you haven't read Jeff Hayes' book, Rise of the New World Order, The Culling of Man, you seriously need to read it. Speaking of which, Ken, your book's going out tomorrow. I have another one. Can't remember who it is. It's in my email. Both of your books are going out tomorrow. Everything happens according to plan, whether it's God's plan, because he's always in control. You want to give away a book?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, we're going to give away the first book, Rise of the New World Order, The Culling of Man by Jeff Hayes. You can find us with Jeff Hayes on Wednesday nights. He is the author. His book is #1 in the UK, has been for a number of years. I believe he's #1 in the United States right now because of the fact of the powers that be using the term New World Order. So now when people are Googling it, his books are coming up. So let's see. How can we give it away? We should have discussed this before. Good Lord. We can't do a number because there's too many. Let's see. We got 80 people watching us. We got 65 in YouTube, and we've got the rest over in Facebook. So we're going to give away 2 books tonight. One to our Facebook viewers and one to our YouTube viewers. We're going to give away 2 books tonight. I'm thinking. Give me a second. It'll come to me. What can we do? I
think we should do a question.
Do you have one?
I believe I do.
Okay.
Who is Klaus Schwab's right-hand man?
Ooh. And if you watched Sean and I a few weeks ago, we actually talked about that. All right, let's see. We've got answers in here. First one, Lori. Got it?
Oh, Nancy.
Nancy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got first name and last name. Okay, well, guess what? Lori and Nancy are both going to get a book. One had the first name, one had the last. And, oh, Rick, you already got one. I'll tell you what, Rick, I think I only sent you the first book. I will send you the second book or the third book if I didn't send it to you already. So Nancy and who did I say? Nancy and Lori? Yes,
Nancy and Lori. Yep.
Lori. And Rick on Facebook. I'll have to talk with him. I know I've sent Rick books. So I don't know if I've sent him and you haven't got yours yet? Okay, Heather.
Guys, don't sleep on these books. I'm just finishing up the first one. It's amazing. And I can't wait. I have to go buy the second one. And I'm going to be diving into that. So hopefully me and Lori can talk about our thoughts on the book. And in a YouTube broadcast here down the road.
Okay, you have both. Okay, so you know what? There's not too many people over in Facebook that answered it. So let's see. After I answered the question, Karen Melicote, you win one of the books. You were the first one to comment after we asked the question. So you win one of the books as well. And if you don't know what book we're talking about, this one right here on the left-hand side, Rise of the New World Order, The Calling of Men by Jeff Hayes. You can find Jeff Hayes along with Eric Spitfire, myself, and we are over on Wednesday nights. Not sure where we're going to be. I think I would be over here on Wednesday night, only because our channel got 90 days again. Wonder why. Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to end it for tonight. I really want to thank everybody. We had a lot of information. Again, I'm going to put all the links. I got a number of links put up here to put in the description area for you guys. I will be messaging the winners so you can give me your information so I can get those out. I'm going to the post office tomorrow. So I've got 5 books to send out tomorrow. What I'll do is after I send those out, I will email you or I will message you the tracking number. So, all right. Any final thoughts, Ernie?
Well, I just wanted to say it's been a pleasure to be able to sit down with everyone tonight. And despite the potential doom that is looming over our heads, rejoice. Mm-hmm. Because the Most High has won it all for us. All you have to do is declare him as your Lord and Savior, because Jesus Christ died for your sins. He died for a fallen world. He shed his blood just so we can have a relationship with the Most High. And he also called on us to be able to expose the evilness and the wicked ways of this world and to bring people out of this world. So if you haven't done so already, come out of her, my people. Come out and flee to the mountains and get your houses in order, as Lori said. But most importantly, build your foundation with our Lord and Savior as the bricks and mortar. Because any house divided cannot stand, as the scripture says. We must come together as one. We must open our hearts and open our minds to accept the Holy Spirit in our lives. Because if you want everlasting life, giving yourself up to the Most High is the only way. You cannot rely on your own will. You can only rely on the Most High.
Amen. That is very, very true. Thank you, Ernie.
Thank you, Lori.
I want to thank everybody in our chat room. I want to thank our moderators as always. Remember, guys, we're just bringing you information. We do not want to just, instill any fear. Fear is not from the Most High. And remember, what do we always say? Eyes open, no fear.